In this video, I'm going to talk to you about robots in ACL. Now, when we think about the word robot in the normal world outside of ACL, we think about, moving arms, moving legs, things that build other things, or robots that clean things, robots that do things, and so forth. Now, robots in ACL is nothing like that at all. It is more a word chosen by the marketing team, I suspect, at Governors to make it sound more enticing to the market out there. But in fact, for those of us who work on the technical side, this word robot is actually nothing like robots that we are used to. It's got nothing to do with it, in fact. So let's talk about what a robot is in the context of ACL. A robot, quite simply, is a task scheduler in the cloud. Now, you know that if you write a script in AN, you can schedule it to run, let's say, at 6 p.m. every evening in Windows Task Scheduler. Now, instead of using Windows Task Scheduler, if we have access to this thing called robots, the program called robots, we can go and schedule a robot. We can run get this robot to run a script. So we basically have a task scheduler in the cloud. Now, let me explain a bit better. Imagine for a second something, or let's think for a second about something completely unrelated to ACL and robots. Let's think about Google Docs. If you log into Google Docs, you then are able to create spreadsheets and other documents. You're working in the cloud. You're working off a server run by Google, kept somewhere in Google's offices. So there is a program, let's call it robots. There's a program called robots, and we can access this program, which is stored on some server somewhere in the world. Let's say it's stored on an Amazon server. And we can log into the server, we can log into robots, and we can then use this program called robots to create a robot. So it's a bit confusing. There's a program called robots, and we can use this program to create robots. Now, if we create a robot, all we've done is we've created a task scheduler, just like we have a Windows task scheduler. Now, where is this mysterious cloud? As I said to you, that cloud is somewhere on some server in the world. So let's say for the purposes of this presentation that it is stored, robots, this program called robots is stored on an Amazon server, maybe in the US. And also every robot, every scheduler that we create is stored in this same cloud, in other words, on the same Amazon server, wherever it is in the world. Now, unfortunately, some people in the ACL world use incorrect terminology, and it causes mass confusion. You will sometimes hear people saying, oh, ABC Bank, let's say ABC Bank is one of our clients. ABC Bank stores their data in the cloud. Now, when we hear that, we think, oh, they're storing it maybe on an Amazon server somewhere. But what this person might be saying to us, what they might mean is, no, they're storing it on their server at their office. So ABC Bank has a server in their office, and they're storing their data there. So if someone says to you that ABC Bank stores their data in the cloud, naturally you would think they mean on a server like an Amazon server somewhere outside of their organization. But if they start talking to you in more detail about the setup in ABC Bank, and you start suspecting that when they say cloud, they actually mean the server in their office, just ask them for clarification where the server is. If it's in their office, then they're using the word cloud incorrectly. Cloud refers to data and other things stored on a server outside someone's organization. So in this example, outside of ABC Bank, in an organization unrelated to ABC Bank, such as Amazon. Okay, so a robot is just a task scheduler that tells a script to run, let's say 6 o'clock every night. And instead of having it on your laptop, you save it on someone else's server, on, let's say, Amazon server. All right. Let's quickly talk about one or two differences between AX and robots, because AX can also be used to schedule scripts to run, just like robots can. So firstly, if a client decides to buy AX, a consultant needs to travel to that client. So the consultant needs to get on a plane, the consultant needs to stay in a hotel, because there are a few days of work involved. You've got to configure the server, you've got to meet with IT, you've got to understand the issues with the server, all the settings. It's a bit of a process. So it costs a lot of money because the consultant's airfares have to be covered, the consultant's accommodation has to be covered, plus it costs quite a bit of time. However, with robots, you don't have to physically go to the client. So there's no airfares, no accommodation, so it's cheaper. Plus, you don't have to spend days configuring the client server. You need to spend 10 minutes basically to get this up and running. Now, let me explain how this is possible. Let's go back to our example of Google Docs. I log into Google Docs. I want to create some other document. I do not need to download or install Google Docs on my laptop. It is already installed on the Google server. So if there were any technical issues about how to install it on the server and getting it to work, Google took care of that long ago. All I need to do is log on and enjoy my access to that program. Similarly, Robots is a program that was put on a server, maybe an Amazon server, by Galvanize. They took care of all the settings and all the configurations. It is there for us to enjoy. We just need to log in and use it. We don't have to worry about the fancy configurations. That's why it is so quick to set it up for a client. Now, in AX, we have this concept of chains. Now, there are two kinds of chains in AX. Imagine we have 10 scripts, script 1, script 2, up to script 10. If you choose the one kind of chain in AX, what happens is if script 1 fails, script 2 doesn't run. None of the other scripts run. The whole process just stops. However, in AX, you could choose a second type of a chain in which if script 1 fails, script 2 still runs and script 3 still runs and so forth. Now, in robots, we don't get to choose what kind of a chain we want. The chain that you get is the following. If you have script 1, script 2, up to script 10, and script 1 fails, automatically script 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on will run. So you don't have a choice in robots as to which kind of chain you want. All your scripts will try to run. Now, how do we use robots? Let's have a look. Firstly, you start in the AN. You need a script. So maybe we've written a script to look for ghost employees. So that's the normal scripting that you do. But you cannot now take that script directly to the cloud to this program called robots. So what you need to do is you need to add headers, some declarations to your script. Now, those of you who have used AX before, who have made scripts ready for AX, will be familiar with these headers. They are not important to us in this video. We just need to know that they must be in place so that we can get this script into the cloud, into this program called robots. Now, in step 3, we need to add items to the cloud. Now, let me explain. If we were working strictly with AN, only on our laptop, we didn't have access to robots, we didn't have access to AX, everything would be happening on our laptop. So on our laptop, we would have to have the data, the scripts, and every other possible thing we need to, and of course the schedules, the Windows task schedules on our machine. Now, in the case of robots, we are not putting these things, going to put these things on our laptop. Well, we will develop the scripts on our laptop, of course, but eventually we're going to push everything into the cloud. We're going to push it onto this Amazon server. So we need everything to be on this Amazon server the way it normally would be on our laptop for things to work. Because we're technically getting a different computer to now do all the scripts and so forth. Right, so what happens is we go to this cloud and we create a robot in the cloud. Now, I need to emphasize this. The application is called robots or robotics, call it what you like. And in this program called robots, we create a robot. So it's a bit confusing. There's the program called robots that you access when you log into HighBond and into robots. You access in this program called robots, and it is just an interface. But this interface, this program, allows you to create a robot. So that robot is a scheduler. Now, coming back to the normal AN way of doing things, if I want to schedule a script to run at 6 o'clock every night with my Windows Task Scheduler, Windows Task Scheduler is already on my laptop. It came installed with Windows. But when you access robots, there is no task scheduler. You have to create one. So, excuse me, but we don't call it a task scheduler, we call it a robot. But that's all it is, that robot is a task scheduler. Now, just as you have Windows Task Scheduler on your laptop, or let me rather say, you have Windows Task Schedule on your laptop, but that doesn't mean automatically that your scripts in AN are scheduled. You've got this program, this tool called Task Scheduler that you can use if you want to schedule scripts. Similarly, we've got this robot now in the cloud that we have created, a scheduler that we have created, but none of your scripts have been scheduled to run in the cloud yet. We don't do that in step 3, we do that later. But the point is, just because you've created a scheduler, AKA a robot, on this Amazon server doesn't mean any of your scripts are going to run yet. Now, obviously, it's no good having the scheduler if you've got nothing to schedule. We need a script. So we make sure we commit the script. Now, commit the script is very strange terminology, but basically it means you need to upload the script, a copy of the script to the cloud. You need to put a copy of the script on the Amazon server. Because if the scheduler is there, and if we tell it later on, not at stage 3, but if we tell it later on the scheduler, this robot, to run the script and the script's not there, we've got a problem. Now, you can't run the script successfully, even if it is on this Amazon server, if there's no data on the server. So you've got to upload the relevant files and tables to this server as well, to this robot. And then once all these things are in place, so it's basically you're almost taking your laptop and you are duplicating in a sense, you're copying in a sense, parts of your laptop onto this Amazon server. You're copying the Windows Task Scheduler almost by creating a robot. You are copying the script that you need to run onto this Amazon server. You're copying the data onto this Amazon server. So that Amazon server is almost like your laptop now. So what we now do in step 4 is we say, okay, we've got the scheduler in place, the robot, we created it in step 3. We can now actually schedule the script to run. We can create a task, which is the same language we use when we schedule a script to run in Windows Scheduler. It's called a task in Windows Scheduler as well. So let me just go over this again. I need a script in AN. I developed that script on my laptop. I tested it on my laptop, of course, to make sure it works. Now that I know it works, and now knowing that I want to schedule the script around 6 o'clock every night, but from the server, from a robot, I'm going to put the relevant headers in at the top of the script to get it ready for this Amazon server for this program called Robots. Now I will log in to this program called Robots using my HighBond account, and I will go and create a robot in this program called Robots. That robot is just another word for scheduler. There's no task scheduler in Robots, in the program called Robots. I have to create one. I need to also upload the script onto that same computer, that same server. So I actually have something to schedule to run at 6 o'clock every night. I need to upload the relevant files and tables as well. Otherwise, that script, when it runs, will give me an error message because it can't find the data. Everything's happening in the cloud now. Everything's happening on this Amazon server. And then finally, I can say, okay, I've got everything in place now. I've got the scheduler, I've got the script, I've got the data. I just need to use this scheduler, this robot, to actually create a task, to actually schedule the script that I've uploaded. So let me go to ACL first to show you my 2 scripts that I've created here. I've got a script called Get Invoices, and it's a very simple script. It imports data from a file called arec.dbf, and then it does a filter in the resulting table that extracts the invoices to a table called Invoices. The credit note script, this one, what it does is it opens that arec table that was created by the Invoices script, and then it goes and creates a table containing only credit notes. Now, if I run this script in ACL right now, in AN, I'm going to get an error message because this AREC table doesn't exist. I need to make sure that the Get Invoices script runs first so that this script called Get Credit Notes has an actual table called AREC that it can open. Now, it's very bad practice to do what I did with Get Invoices, to import the data into AN in the same script that I then use to analyze the data. I should actually have 3 scripts here. One to get the invoices, one to get the credit notes, and an import script that runs before both of those. But I deliberately did it this way for the purposes of this video. Now, I've got these headers up here. You can see If you don't know what these headers mean, it's fine, it's not important. That's not the point of this video. Those headers are dealt with in a separate video. So I've got some of this in place already. Let's see where I am. I've done this. I've created my AN script. I've made sure it works. I've added the relevant headers. Now I need to do this. I need to go to the cloud. So let me go to my web browser and let me go to HighBond. Now, if I have recently logged in to Robots, it's going to take, or into HighBond, it will take me there automatically. If it's been a while since I logged in, it's going to prompt me for my username and password. Now, I logged in here recently, so I'm still logged in, and I want to go to Robots. I can access this because I have a subscription, a license to access Robots. So I'll click on that, and ACL is now going to take me, or not ACL, HighBond is going to take me to this program called Robots. Now, I've already created 3 robots. Now, remember, a robot is just a scheduler. So for whatever reason, I created 3 different schedulers. It's like having 3 different Windows task schedulers. Now, on your laptop, you don't have 3 different Windows task schedulers. You only have 1. And you might say to yourself, okay, but it's silly to have 3 task schedulers, 3 robots in the cloud. And you might have a point. Some people, of course, would disagree with you and say, oh, we use the first task scheduler, the first robot, only for importing data, and the second one only for payroll, whatever it is. And they might find it helps them to have separate schedulers for separate parts of the business or organization, or for separate types of tasks. You can decide if one robot, one scheduler, in other words, is good enough for your environment, or if multiple schedulers would be better for your environment or your client's environment. Right, so again, I keep saying schedulers. Sorry, let me go back here. I keep saying scheduler, but it's actually called a robot. But really, that's all a robot is. It's a scheduler. In this program called Robots, I have created 3 robots. I've created 3 schedulers. Now, this robot here with the very exciting name Test1, that scheduler, has 3 tasks. In other words, I've asked it to automate 3 sets of scripts. These 2 here have 0 tasks each. I haven't yet used them to schedule anything. They're just sitting there going, right, we are here to schedule things, but you must tell us what to schedule, when to schedule it. Now, notice these icons at the top. These 2 are blue, these faces. This face is green, and the face is a different shape from that one. And some people wonder, what is the significance of these colors and these different shapes? Well, there is no significance. I chose that one there because I got tired of seeing the blue faces, maybe. They mean nothing. Now, if I don't like this icon here, I can click on that there and click on Edit Details. And I can then go to this drop-down list and say, you know what, I'm tired of that green icon. I think I want one that looks like that. And I can click on that one and choose Save Changes. So I'm just making it look pretty. It means nothing. Now, if you want to, you can make them all blue or pink or green. You can change the colors because today you're in a green mood, tomorrow you're in a blue mood. It doesn't matter. Or you could come up with a convention, if it makes sense to you, to say, if it's that blue face, it's going to be a scheduler for imports. If it's a green face, it's a scheduler for analysis. You decide if you want to use the colors in that way. But honestly, I don't care. I use whichever one I feel like using on a particular day. All right. Now, we've accessed our cloud. Let's see what the steps are. We've accessed the cloud. I need to create a robot, a scheduler. So I want to go create a scheduler. Let's click on Create Robot. And I need to give the scheduler name. Now I can obviously change the icon for the scheduler, but I don't really care. And we'll give the robot the new scheduler name. I'll call it My Wonderful Robot. Okay, so I'll call this My Wonderful Robot. And you can put a description if you want. I'll say, this is an amazing robot. And I click Create Robot. So there we go. There's my wonderful robot. It is a scheduler, but nothing has been scheduled yet. There are no tasks. So let's see, what do I still need to do? If we go back to PowerPoint, we've created a robot in the cloud. So on the Amazon server, let's say, I need to commit the script. I need to put the script into the cloud as well. I need to tell the robot, here is the script that I might need you to run later. Otherwise, how's it going to know what to run? So what I do is I go to AN and I click on File and I go to Commit Scripts. Now, when you click on Commit Scripts, ACL sorry, well, AN might pick the correct robot. The one that I'm looking for is my wonderful robot, or it might pick the wrong one. So I'm going to click on commit scripts. And you can see it's chosen my robot one. That's not the one I want. So I don't want to go ahead and upload this to the cloud and associate it with this robot. I don't want to tell my robot one that it's going to need to run those scripts from this project later. This is the wrong script, sorry, the wrong robot. So if I get the wrong robot, I click on cancel. And I go back to file and I go to commit scripts as. And now we are ACL, AN is connecting to HiBond and it's looking for the different robots I have. And it says, okay, here are your robots. Now the robot that is going to run these two scripts later is called My Wonderful Robot, that scheduler. So I'm going to choose that, My Wonderful Robot. And I can double click on it, or I can click on it and click OK. Now I would like to click OK here, but it is grayed up. You always have to put some message here. So I'm just going to say, this is my first attempt. And I'm going to click OK. And we are waiting now for AN to communicate with HiBond and robots. It says commit script successful, right? My wonderful robot, those scripts went there. I'll click OK. And if I go here to these robots, I can click on my wonderful robot. Now notice everything is grayed out here at the top. This is because I'm in production mode. I want to go to development mode. So let's flip the switch so that we can get into development mode. And here you see we have scripts. We have version 1 of the scripts. In other words, this is the first time I uploaded scripts to this robot, version 1. If I later on go and modify those scripts in AN and commit them again, in other words, upload the new scripts, then I'm going to still see V1 here for version 1, but above it, I will see a block where it says V2. And it will maybe say, this is my second attempt, if that's what I type as the description. Here it says, this is my first attempt. Now, let's see what I'm supposed to do next. I'm supposed to now, after committing the script, upload the relevant files and tables that I need. Because if it's not there, then that script has nothing to analyze. But I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to forget to do that part of step 3. I'm going to just jump straight to step 4. I'm going to schedule the script to run. I'm going to create a task. So let me go to tasks. And I'm going to click on create task. And I need to give the task a name. I'll call this task run my script. What an original name this is for a task, run my script. I'll click on save. Now, when I do this, you'll see both of the scripts that were in my project are here. When you commit scripts, you commit all the scripts in a project. And I could say activate all, which means I want both of those to run. I want this task, run my script, to run both of those at 6 every night. Or I could say, no, actually, I only want one of them to run. So I want only look for invoices, let's say, to run. So let me choose that one. Now I can click on continue. And I want this task to be on a schedule. I want to run every night. So it's a bit silly that this isn't automatically selected. So let me flip the switch. Now, how often do I want this to run? I decide I want it to run every single day. So I'll choose daily. And I want it to start at 6 p.m. Let me just scroll down here first. I want it to start always at, okay, let me make it 7 p.m. Right, I want it to start at 7 p.m. every single night. Right, starting on, let me scroll down here, the 24th of April. And then I click on continue. And something might go wrong during the night where this task doesn't run or the script fails. I would like to know if it fails. So I want to flip this and say, send a notification that this has failed to someone. I can choose multiple people. I can choose one person. All right, I want to receive notification. So I'm going to choose myself. I'll click continue. And this is just a summary screen of the options I've chosen. If I'm not happy with them, I can click go back and change them. If I'm happy with them, I will click on confirm and create task. So I'm now clicking on confirm and create task, and I'm waiting now for this task to be created. Okay. So this is my task. Now, I don't want to wait for the 24th of April for 7 in the evening to see if this works. I need to know now if this task works. Have I chosen the correct settings? Have I uploaded my scripts and everything correctly? Because if it doesn't work now, if this task can't run those scripts successfully now and give me results now, it's not going to work at 7 p.m. on the 24th of April or the 25th or the 26th and so on. So I'm going to click either on that, which will then bring up this window, which allows me to click run now, or I can click on those three dots and then I can click run now. It's a matter of preference how you access the run now option. Right, so I'm going to choose run now. And now it says queued. I'm waiting for the status to change. I want to see what happens. I want to know if this is going to work or not. So I just need to be a bit patient while this processes everything in the cloud. It says now it's in progress. And let's see what happens afterwards. Let's see if I get a result or what the story is. And it says failed. Now, I would need to investigate why this failed. However, in this case, I already know why it failed. Remember, I told you I forgot to do this part of step 3. The script failed to run because it couldn't find the data. I was supposed to, before creating the task, I was supposed to upload the data. Anyway, it's not a crisis. I can go to the Input-Outputs tab. Now, if I already have a folder open, I do in fact down here, I can just drag the files there. Or if it's not open down there, I can just click on Choose Files. It doesn't really matter. And I need to look for the file that I want to analyze. Now, in this case, the file I want to analyze is called arec.dbf. So I just want to find it for you quickly. There we go, arec.dbf. So it has now uploaded it. Okay, so my task failed earlier because this wasn't there. Of course, good news is it's there now, but I'm not sure if I've made some other mistakes somewhere. So to be safe, let me force that task to run again now. If it runs now, that's good news. It means it will run at 7 o'clock every night going forward. If there's some other error, I've got to fix it. If I find out what that error is and fix it. So let me go to tasks. Let me go back here. Let me choose run now. And it's queued. And let us see what happens. Okay, we're waiting for it. Okay, we just have to wait a bit still. Okay, it's now in progress. Okay, we are just waiting still. It's in progress still. Okay, so it's communicating with the server, with the cloud, somewhere the Amazon server or wherever this is stored on, whichever server. And there it says success. So it succeeded this time because the data was there on the server for the robots to access. Okay, now it says you view latest results, but the thing is, you can't view the results unless you publish it to Results Manager, or you, in your script, write an instruction to send it to, let's say, an Excel file or a text file, export it to something like that. Now, I didn't build any outputs to a file or to Results Manager in my script, so I won't be able to see my results. But that's not serious for this video. But in the real world, you need to indicate how you want to see it. Now, my file, by the way, my data does appear in a table in ACL, in AN, but this is going to show me the data in Results Manager, provided I actually sent it there. Alternatively, I would have to create a file, as I said, with the export command, and then I can view that. This is not going to show me an AN table. All right, so this now works. My task will work every single night correctly. I'm happy with that. So let's go back here. So I created my script in AN just to review quickly. I added the necessary headers to the script. I went to the cloud, said this cloud, this Amazon server, for all intents and purposes, is like my laptop now. So I need a scheduler. I'll create a robot, a scheduler, I'll create one. I'll put the script there, a copy of the script. I'll upload the relevant data. And then I need to use that scheduler, that robot I created, to actually schedule this. And please test your task to see if it runs correctly, because you may have forgotten to upload the data. There may be an issue with your script that, even though it works in AN, doesn't actually work in the cloud because of some small thing you didn't take into account. So test it thoroughly. All right, so now let me talk to you about two different modes. You saw there was a switch there that I used to go to development mode. So there is a mode called development mode. This is where we go to create the task, and we test the task to make sure it's working. Now, suppose I'm happy with my task, it's working. I need to roll this into production mode. I need to activate it so it's available in production mode in the live environment with the actual data and so forth. And in production mode, as I said, this is where the whole team now would be able to access not directly robots, only the administrators, let's say, can modify the robots, but they'd be able to benefit from the existence of this robot, the scheduler, and so forth. Now, let's just see what happens. I want to go to production mode. Now, it says here, current production version, no versions have been activated yet. If you want to have this in production mode, see, I'm switching to production mode. There's no version. You've got to say activate version. So I click on activate version, and it just takes me back to development mode, all right? So let me just see now where this is. I'm going to click on that. That's by version 1. And there's this button, activate version. So it's a bit clumsy. You click on that button, and then you have to come down here and click on activate 1. Activate version 1. So it's a bit clumsy. You've got to come to a section on the right-hand side. So it's activated, right? So if I switch now to production mode, you can see in production mode, I have these scripts. I did not have those in production mode earlier. Once I've activated it in development mode for production mode, I can see it. Okay, fine. Now, remember, we created a task in development mode to say run those, or run one of them in any case, a certain date. So let me click on tasks and notice there's no task. And we uploaded some data, right? So let me click on input output and look, there's no data. So there's something happening here. We have an annoying problem, something very annoying, irritating, frustrating. Okay. When you upload the data to development mode and when you create the task in development mode, they stay there. They don't automatically get copied to production mode when you activate the versions that can be used in production mode. You literally have to upload the data again into production mode, the same data. You have to go create a task again with the same settings in production mode. It is extremely frustrating and extremely irritating. And honestly, at this point, unless someone can give me a good reason why, I find it extremely idiotic. Imagine you had data that you uploaded to development mode that took 2 hours to upload. Now you've got to take another 2 hours uploading it to production mode. This is really ridiculous. Okay, so this is the situation, unfortunately. The scripts will be in production modes. That's fine. But the data and the task will not be there. Very, very frustrating, annoying, irritating, and painful, to say the least. All right, so let's talk about some issues with robots. Firstly, if one script fails, the others will still run. Now, that may or may not be an issue, to be honest. Let's suppose we have 2 sets of scripts. The one set of scripts does various tests on our payroll data. The other set the other set of scripts does tests on our fixed assets data. Now, if for some reason the payroll scripts fail, the fixed assets scripts will still run. And that's actually a good thing, because why would you want your fixed asset scripts not to run because the payroll scripts failed? They have nothing to do with one another. But of course, there is a downside to this. Imagine that you have script 1, and that's an import script. And script 2 analyzes the data that script 1 imported. Now script 1 fails, script 2 tries to run. Now, if there's no data in your cloud for that robot, script 2 will fail outright. If, however, there is data in that cloud from a previous month when script 1 did successfully run, your script 2 is going to analyze the same data it analyzed a month earlier. So this is a problem. Okay, so it can create a problem. Now, another issue is that scripts run one after the other. So I have, let's say, a script that analyzes the payroll data. I have a script that performs a separate script that performs tests on fixed assets. Logically, I would like to run the payroll tests and at the same time run the script for fixed assets so that I can get the results faster, both of them running at the same time. But you can't do that with robots. First, the payroll test will run, for example, and only once that has finished will the fixed assets tests run. So it's going to take longer to get your results because robots are going to say, no, fixed assets, you wait, you're in the queue. First, we are going to run the parallel test, and later we will do the fixed asset tests. That's a big inefficiency problem right there. Now, development mode does not pass everything to production mode. You saw this. What happened to my task? It's not in production mode. I've got to create it again. What happens to the data uploaded to development mode? It's not there in production mode. I've got to upload it again. It's ridiculous that I have to do this twice. Okay. Now, another thing, very interesting and very strange and very annoying and very foolish and stupid and idiotic and every other negative adjective I can think of. You cannot upload a .fil file to the cloud. Now, if I have a .fil file with data in, I can easily import that into AN, but I cannot import it using robots. Even if my script works in AN, it will not work with robots because robots will not allow me to upload a .fil file. So I'll show you. Let me go back here. Let me go to development mode, right? I want to go and add another file. I want to add an FIL file. So I click choose files. Now, notice here it says custom files, ACCDB. It's got a whole list, but I want to see all my files just so that I make sure I can see an FIL. So let's say I want to upload into the cloud to this robot, this aptrans.fil file. Fine, I'll double click on it. Let's see what happens. Error message. aptrans.fil file extension is invalid. It will not let you upload this file, even though I can import this into ACL with a script, analyze the data from this file in ACL in AN. Sorry, this is not going to happen. So I would have to make sure that my AN gets a file that's not a .fil or somehow transforms this .fil after import into some other file type, exports it to DBF or exports it to Excel, etc. Very frustrating, very annoying, very idiotic. All right. So these are some of the issues with robots. So be aware of this. So we are talking internally, you know, as distributors of ACL, AM robots, and so on. So obviously what we say to clients, you know, what the salespeople say to clients is not discussed in as much detail as I'm talking to you in now regarding robots. Salespeople obviously know what the important things are to highlight to clients, but we need to know in the background what some of these issues are. Now, let's talk about robots, the Enterprise Edition. And you might be saying, well, what is this Robots Enterprise Edition? Okay, let me explain. I want to access this program called Robots. And I want to schedule my script to run 7 o'clock every single night. And you know, I log into HighBond, I go to the program called Robots, I create everything there, the robots, the whole process I went through. Everything is basically down the server. I even uploaded the data to the server. But now we've got a client, let's say ABC Bank, and they say, no, wait. We're not comfortable uploading our data to, let's say, the Amazon server. We're not comfortable doing that. So now we've got a problem. We want them to use robots. The robot wants to have the data on the server, and ABC Bank is saying no. So there's a different version of robots called the Enterprise Edition. And they do not upload their data to the cloud. They keep the data on their server. ABC Bank keeps it on their server. But as I said, the problem is the interface, or the program called Robots is in the cloud. And it can't see the data because the data is sitting on the server. So how do we get the interface to work with the data? Well, we install something called a robot agent on ABC Bank's server. So the robot agent is like a go-between between the cloud, between the Amazon server and the robots application and the data on the client's server. This robot agent is a product or, created by Galvanize. It works with robots. It is a Galvanize product. So the robot agent itself sits on the server where the data is, and it knows how to get into HighBond and into the robots program to communicate with it and so forth. Now, what happens is the following. Because even though we've got the robots agent, because we are not directly uploading the data into this Amazon cloud, we've got to somehow make this data available to the cloud via, or not to the cloud, but to the task schedule, the robots that we created using the robot agent. So there's a few steps here. Now, I don't expect you to understand this completely. It's not important, but I want you to appreciate that there are various things we need to do in the scenario of ABC Bank where they keep the data on their servers. They're not comfortable uploading it to the cloud. So firstly, we do a normal import of the data into AN. So we take the data from the server at ABC Bank, we import it into AN on, let's say, one of their laptops, right? Because they obviously don't want people outside the bank to have it on their machines anyway. And then what we do is we save the layout of the table that results from that import. We save that layout in a file. And that is the script we would write. So I've just given the script an exciting name, script 1. So let's suppose we imported a file that created a table called AR. My script would be open AR, this is after the import, save layout file to ar.layout. We're calling the file with the layout of the AR table, ar.layout. So that ar.layout file will have things like, in the AR table, you have a field called customer number with start position 1, length 6, data type ASCII, and so forth. That's what it will have in it. Then what we need to do is we need to import this layout that we got on the laptop or whatever onto the server of the client of ABC Bank where the robot agent is installed, because the robot agent needs to see what's going on here. So so we now write this script too, and we say the following: import this layout, which is stored in a location. Now let's suppose ABC Bank server is server Z, has drive Z, and this data is stored in a folder called audit data. So Z audit data, there's a file called ar.layout that we have put there. We need to import this to a table called AR. So on the server now, we have we've replicated the table out that we had on the client's laptop at ABC Bank. We've replicated that now onto the server where the robot agent is. We've called the table AR. Now this table AR will have the correct structure, the correct fields, but no data. So we now need to link the data to this table layout. And we issue this instruction, open wherever the data is. We need to put that ar.fl data on that server where the agent is, and we link it to this table AR. So now that data is sitting on the server, and the robot agent will communicate with the robot that was created in the cloud on the Amazon server and say, okay, you need to run those scripts. Oh, by the way, let me help you find on the server away from the cloud, let me help you find where the data is. The robot agent knows it's in Z/order data/AR.layout. We were very careful when we created script 1 and script 2, especially script 2, to make sure we created this AR table and this layout and everything where the robot agent is on ABC Bank's server. So let's just be clear. Even if we host our data strictly on ABC Bank's, let's say ABC Bank keeps it on their server, they still need to have a subscription to robots. They still need a subscription to HighBond. So they can log in, so they can create a robot there. The robot is still created in the cloud. The data might be at ABC Bank in their server room somewhere, but the robot itself is still in the cloud. The robot agent's on their server, but the robot itself and the program robots is still in the cloud. So what happens is this. If they decide to cancel their robot subscription, they've still got their data ABC Bank. It is on their local server, but they lose access to the program robots. They lose access to the schedules, to the schedulers that they created. So their scripts won't run anymore at a certain time on a certain date. They might have the robot agent still, but it's useless because they can't access robots. So in a nutshell, a robot is a scheduler sitting in the cloud. We access this program called robots sitting somewhere, let's say on an Amazon server. We use this program called robots to create a robot, which is a scheduler. The scheduler does nothing on its own. You have to tell it, schedule something. Now you might choose to create one scheduler or multiple schedulers, one robot or multiple robots, depending on your needs. Then what we do is we use that scheduler instead of the Windows Task Scheduler. If a client doesn't renew, whether they have the Enterprise Edition or whether they do everything in the cloud, in other words, they have to upload the data each time to the cloud, they lose access to those robots with their scheduled tasks, and now their scripts will no longer run at the specified date or at the specified time. Of course, there is a way around that. The client could fall back on Windows Task Scheduler and just run things from there. Because even if they decided to upload all their data to the cloud, so they're not using the Enterprise Edition, the fact is they're uploading copies to the cloud. They still have the original data on their server somewhere, so they could always just fall back onto Task Scheduler. Or if they decide to go with AX, they can fall back onto Scheduling AX. So they would lose their access to the robots in program, in other words, the schedulers there, but it doesn't mean they can't schedule their scripts. There are backup plans for them if they decide to do that. Now, on the sales side, whether the salespeople tell clients that, hey, there's Windows Task Scheduler that can do this, or AX that can do that, that's up to the salespeople. They need to decide how they handle the fact that if you don't subscribe to licenses anymore, you can still schedule your scripts. Salespeople need to decide how to handle that. But on the technical side, we need to know what the consequences are of not renewing your license for robots. And we need to know that you can actually still schedule your scripts. So that's robots in a nutshell. That's how they work. I hope that was helpful to you in understanding them. I encourage you to create your own robots just to see how they work. It took me a while to get used to them, and honestly, I'm still getting used to them. The concept's simple enough, but if you don't work with it all the time, then nothing is actually simple, right? Just be aware when you first access that interface for robots, the very first time, you need to decide if you're going to use the Unicode or non-Unicode version, just like with AN. So if your AN on your laptop is non-Unicode, you need to choose the non-Unicode version of AN. If your robots, if your AN is Unicode, when you access robots for the first time, you need to make sure you choose Unicode. So if you need help with that kind of thing, first accessing robots, I encourage you to contact the support desk, the ACL support desk, the robot support desk, right? So that they can help you set it up correctly. Because once you flip the switch, it's kind of difficult to fix it. You might have to undo all sorts of things. So please, if you're not sure, contact support when you first access robots to choose Unicode or non-Unicode correctly according to what version of AN you've got installed. Right, that's it for this video. And I shall see you in another video quite soon.